All right. Good morning. Welcome on back. Ooh, let's go ahead and go finish I think maybe finish the Melon Mountain that we're doing. But, anyways, happy Saturday. Hope everybody's week was good. And, yeah, again, I don't know why I say day updates in this. Like, hello. Well, happy Saturday, like a year ago. But, anyways, no, just wanted to jump on, do some work on it's like a melon pyramid. So, and do some musing about politics, good old politics. So, I don't know. I'm still trying to keep an even keel with my opinions and my observations, like as much as I'm trying to. But it really does feel like uneven. I don't know how to say that. Like wealth has taken over, and those that aren't wealthy, good luck. But those that are, and I think that's the thing that bothers me about it all. Is like a lot of the people that are wealthy didn't work for it. Like they did not earn it. They inherited most of it. In fact, a lot of times they're pretty worthless. Like as far as their skills and creativity go. Like the Kardashians are a blaring example of that. Like they constantly try to do this, do that, and make more money off of their things, and then they kind of do, then they kind of, but then it's like, I don't know, and then they're just ditzy, and then they just like use their looks to take shortcuts and stuff, and like have other people, oh, help me do this. They're not really any self-made anything. Like, and same with, I don't know. Then you get people like Kanye who did make a lot of money because of music and is performing and all this, and he did work really hard. And because music is hard, the music industry, there's a lot of like, from what I've seen, I don't know firsthand, but like to make it as a musician, there's a lot of times where like, I guess the expectations versus reality is a big wake up call, and I suppose that's true with everything. Like even with the computer science world, like when I graduated, I had one friend that was making like $90,000 right after graduation. I was making 50. Like I mean, I got hired on, but even that, it was hard because I got rejected several times and multiple times. Like which is actually interesting because now that I'm all established, I actually noticed that on LinkedIn I'm followed by some people from one of the places that I kept trying to apply to, and they just didn't give me the time of day. But I wasn't a really strong programmer too, either. I wasn't like an A student. I wasn't able to do like, I mean, not that I wasn't able to. It was just my work wasn't as good as some of the other developers, and I accepted that. Like I knew that other people understood computer programming better than I, did a lot more of the readings than I, did more of the projects than I. However, and that's why part of why I did so good in IT. Right, we got on here to talk about politics, but anyways, my point being is I got rejected many times, many times. So for all the people that have a garage band or a band or whatever, and then like they go and they get rejected or even booed or like there's a lot of ugly things that can happen, and I'm not trying to minimalize that, but rejection happens everywhere. Like I applied to probably hundreds of jobs and only got like five. So like 20 or 30 jobs every time I've been seeking a job, and all of those rejections, quiet rejections where they just never get back to you, or verbal rejections like, hey, we don't want you, all the different things. Like, that's just part of becoming an adult. You have to learn how to handle rejection. So, I don't know. And then the people you learn with constantly change. Like, I mean, my high school experience was total party people. We were a little bit reckless, but we got things done. We did what was asked of us. We were like straight A students for the most part. Like we had jobs, we had our own money. Hmm. Actually, as I say that, I don't know about one of my buddies. I don't think he did have a job. Like he did jobs for his parents, and he had horses and stuff. So I mean, it's not like he didn't work. But now that I think about it, I don't think he had like a. Actually, wait a minute. No, okay, no. My other friend did have a job. Like he worked. Well, actually, no, I take that back. That was so stupid. We worked together. Oh my god. That's right. He got a job working with me. Oh, it was a good old time. I remember one time this person forgot their change. They paid with $100 and they didn't get their change. And my buddy just put it under a cup. He's like, "Oh crud! Like we might get like $100." That was big. That was like somebody leaving $200 in today's money. You know, the things that you could get with $100 was insane. And of course, they came back and said, "Hey, I forgot to get my change." And he's like, "Yep, I have it right here." And like when he was totally gonna keep it. And I wasn't against it either. I was like, "Oh, we gonna smoke so much bud tonight?" Like, so I don't know. And rejection there too, like selling bud and stuff. Like, I mean, I'm much happier now that it's not so much black markets, at least in Colorado. The only black markets that still exist are for underage kids getting it. And I mean, honestly, when my kids get to be that age, I would be much happier knowing that they went out and smoked than they went out and drank. And even then, like, I think I'd be more focused on what did they do or did not do. Like, did they take care of their friends? Did they look out for each other? Did they maintain safety? Do they, as much as possible? Like, I mean, yes, it's unsafe to start drinking or smoking weed in the first place. I mean, if you're underage because it's illegal, and then you got to worry about getting arrested, and you got to, not so much the health risks, though. Because, I mean, I've said it on here many a time. I started smoking like 12 or 13, not regularly. Like fifth grade was still too young, I feel like, at least in my opinion. Middle school, and I was getting chubby too. Like it was kind of a weird thing. I was like, I was always like not super skinny, but not super fat either. Like in elementary school, then middle school hit, and puberty hit, and I just started eating a lot of food. And like, I still eat a lot of food, but I was also very active doing stuff, like running around, playing outside all the time. Like, we had some video games, but it wasn't all, you know, super fancy. We had a regular Nintendo, so like, yeah, I would play video games inside and stuff. Plus, I think my parents only let me play like an hour or two, and then kicked me out outside, where I'd go shoot a BB gun and shot my sister's car windshield. God, because we had a parking spot out back, and I remember shooting it, and I was like, there's no way. Like, I was not aiming there. The BB flew way off, and that's why I was all confused, and I tried to deny it, but it was like, well, who else is shooting a BB gun out in the backyard? And so, that was also how I got a very, it was interesting. Like, my dad teaching me about wildlife and stuff, because we used to shoot guns. I remember this one time he shot like this little gopher chipmunk thing, and just on a whim he was like, "Hey, check that thing out," and he shot it and he hit it. Like he was a really good shot, and it just like plink, and then it just rolled back, and like we saw it, and then he comes up, he's like, "Oh hell," and they shot it again, to put it out of its misery because it was just lying there, its guts hanging out and everything. And I was just like, "Oh God, I don't want to do that to like cute little forest critters. Like that was horrible." I mean, good shot, Dad, but like still at the same time, that's kind of messed up. And I think we both kind of saw that. We're like, eh. And then later on, the reason I say that is because when I was with my BB gun, much less dangerous than the guns that we used to shoot. And I was shooting at birds, trying to hit birds, and he got really mad. He was like, because I shot at a robin. He's like, "Don't you shoot at a robin?" I think it was like the Wisconsin state bird or something, and like he was really mad. And but it was interesting because I was like, "Wait a minute, you weren't this mad when you shot that chipmunk thing." I didn't say that, but that's what I was thinking in my head. I was like, "So wait, okay, chipmunks are okay, groundhogs okay, but birds not okay." Okay, well, there's a line. And then I thought to myself, I was like, well, I remember the chipmunk. I don't really want to see a bird like that either. So then I just kind of just stopped, like, it wasn't enjoyable. I mean, it then became, there was enough friction for me to decide not to do anything like that. Like, I had the friction of the memory of what it was like to see a dying animal. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of messed up. That wasn't fun, not pleasant. And then which is, I mean, understatement. How do you think the animal felt? Like, well, yeah, no, no kidding. Like, of course, it's dead, it's dying. Like, could you imagine if you were that animal and you're just like running around playing in the wilderness, like having the time of your life, or going looking for food or a girlfriend or a boyfriend or whatever, and then like And then all of a sudden, just bam, out of nowhere, something just rips through your stomach and kills you. Like, it doesn't kill you right away. This giant lumbering beast comes over with this loud stick, points the stick at you, and then everything goes black. Like, it's pretty potentially traumatizing. In fact, that should be a thing, like a scary movie, but it's from the perspective of an animal being hunted. That would be, wow, that'd be interesting. And I was actually talking with somebody the other day who's vegan, and I don't know. I love meat; it tastes great, and like it's not like you know people are eating stuff that's disgusting, that's not pleasant, that doesn't give some kind of primal chemicals in our brains like, ooh, that tastes good, or no, we get reward centers that go off and like, ooh, hey, you're eating something good there, like, or you smell it cooking, like, oh, that smells good, and you start salivating, like, it's natural, it's food. Although now I think it's actually one step higher. I would go partially vegetarian. I love milk. I'm sorry. Like, I don't get it. Like, milk, cheese, eggs, like, all that stuff. It tastes amazing. Like, I can't give that up. But, like, I mean, red meat, burgers and stuff. I will admit, I am kind of cut back on that. I'm trying to. I'm not doing a really great job while during this move because I'm still moving into a new house, and it's a lot easier to just go get some burgers and stuff, especially Wendy's double stacks. Like, and they're expensive too. It's like $4 for that little double cheeseburger. And you know, back in my day, you could get a single cheeseburger for $1. They had a dollar menu usually. You had to ask for it, and then they'd take it away, and then you could still ask for it. Then they'd basically give you like old burgers that they couldn't sell, and then it was like the secret menu thing. And I didn't even, and actually that's kind of interesting now. Now they probably can't do that, or they do, but they like, these burgers are the discount burgers because they're slightly less quality. I could see that. But no, but thinking like eating like fruits and vegetables and tropical stuff and, smoothies and fresh things and just like, that's like the diet that I think everybody would want to be on, or the Mediterranean Greek, like, hummus and cucumber stuff and that tzatziki sauce is amazing. I think it's just basically like a cucumber sauce. So, anyways, politics. Yeah, we didn't even start talking about that, but talking about like everything else. But look at this thing; it's so massive, and this is just a small one. Like I was thinking about one like easily 2 or 3 times bigger, like as big as the base is what's sticking out of the water, and then to make it to go to build height. Like we could start with this. This is just one melon pyramid, and this is taking a lot. We're talking multiple completely full inventories of melons. I've come over here with so many stacks, and each layer down it gets that much bigger because it's that much bigger 4 times because of the 4 sides. So, anyways, no, I'm just talking like I saw the President Trump and President Zelensky arguing and stuff. And it's a tough time. Like we've known for a long time that Trump doesn't support the Ukraine war, that there's a lot of spending. Now, whether or not that's the motives behind it are questionable because anyone can say that they're against killing and death, but the fact that Russia escalated it to killing and death, that kind of, to me, granted, but then you listen to Putin, and I've listened to Putin talk about the history of Ukraine and how the U.S. meddled with the elections and basically fixed them so Ukraine got its independence. And see, and I don't know. Like maybe that was more push versus pull. I'm sure there were some Ukrainians that are probably like, "Hey, what? Why are you causing all this nonsense? Like we were perfectly happy not worrying about this, and now it's an issue. And for what? I mean, I don't know. So we could be like America that did this to England and granted, England had the best of intentions with its gigantic empire that stretched around the world. Like, same with every empire. It's human nature. Like, you go and you conquer an area, then you take care of it, you bring valuables to the places. You can even think about that in Minecraft here. Like, this is basically a giant empire. I have bases in each of the map sections. Yeah, I don't travel there hardly at all. I also don't get things from there. I try to leave a bunch of stuff. Well, no, that's not true. I do get some stuff. Ooh, look at that. There's a light somehow. What is this discrepancy? What is it? Whoa, that looks so cool. But why? Why are there such lights? Like, I don't see anything. Oh, that is so cool. All right, we gotta keep going though. So, but anyways, I don't know. It's like and it's interesting how people seem to flip flop too, because it used to be the more like liberal people were anti-vaxxers and like vaccines cause autism and stuff like this. Like the Jim Carreys, like he got heated for a while. Jen, or was it Jim Carrey or Jenny Carrey or I don't know. There were celebrities. Don't quote me on that. Everything I say, take with a grain of salt and look it up if you're not sure. It's just how we should live anymore. I mean, which is interesting because thinking back to that phone line where you could call and ask any question and they would do the research and try to find an answer for you. That was basically like, some people probably played with some databases and they just had like massive databases where they would just put things and then you could query and now you just have Google and now Grok and XApp. Actually, and I do like XApp for being like an information collecting place. Like, there's still a lot of trash and fake stuff there because people can post anything, but at the same time, it's not as biased. Like, I mean, or well, it is biased, but it's like anybody can put their own bias on it. So it's not just what was generated for your consumption. Like, I think that's the biggest like alarming thing for me is like if U.S. aid was giving money to nonprofits that were putting out propaganda and news and like political talking points, for a uniparty goal. Like it would be different if it was for all parties, if it was equal access. And I almost wonder if it isn't equal access and then people just didn't access it. That could be another thing. Then it's like that picture of the kid sticking a tire in his bike's wheel spokes and then blaming someone else. Like you did it to yourself. But if that's true, and that's why, and I was actually talking with someone the other day, like, I mean, what I want to do, actually, that's what I need to do. Now that I'm kind of settled, trying to figure out how to buy packages and stuff. Ah, let's see. Whew. But anyways, because I want to start doing some streaming on the Twitch. We'll start doing Twitch again. And basically, that's all we'll do, is we'll do political analysts and stuff and just be like, all right, so here's where they're coming from. Here's where they're coming from. Because it is important, because there's a lot of manipulation going on, and it's happening right before our eyes. Like arguing, debating, and trickery. And then like highlighting things and getting people, like ragging on Zelensky for not wearing a suit. Like, I don't know. Like, is that really like a major pinching point for someone whose country is actively in a war? Like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's disrespectful to think that if someone doesn't wear a suit, that they don't care. Like, what if they come from a country where the fancy dress is something else? Like, would you hassle them there? Although I don't think that's the same with Ukraine. I don't know. And it's just Russia basically outspent Ukraine, is what it boils down to. Like, you know, the rest of the world pretty much wanted Ukraine, most of the world, I shouldn't say all, but pretty much the rest of the world wanted Ukraine to be its own country. And most of the world is getting tired of both Russia and the US. Like, we're both kind of like, just these big bullies that just kind of jump in whenever we want. When we see something going on, we might. America probably more so than the Russians, I'd say. But Like still, anytime in the Middle East, like you hear Russia meddling in and then America meddling in. And then China's just kind of back there like still meddling, but not with weapons and stuff. They're more with like the aid. They're still meddling around in politics and developing Africa with a giant price tag of owed money that they're gonna get their money back. It's like veiled philanthropy. And then so are we. We're talking about getting the mineral rights or something to refund um, basically to refund what we invested in this war. And when I say we, it's not me in any sense. I pay my taxes, I work. In fact, I got to file my taxes. Jeez, I still haven't done that. But I get to file my taxes and see how much of my money actually goes away and how much I get back. And and it is ridiculous. And there's these things that they try to do that like try to reward people for doing certain things, like buying a house or, then you get all like the interest that you can claim and deduct from your income, and then, well, my income isn't really income because I used it for this and this and that. And it's like, well, hold on a minute, like, people shouldn't be punished for not using their money in certain ways. Like that seems kind of messed up, and like, just let people use the money how they want. They worked, they earned it. I mean, so, yeah, it was just. And look at that. We didn't even really make like one. I think we did one complete trip around, if that, maybe. We're about to get back, but I don't think we even have enough to get back there. Let's see. Yeah, that looks like more than 34. 34 melons. And I'm going to be cutting holes into this. Like doorways, hallways, passageways. Oh, I mean, this might get close. Oh, did it? By 2. I had 2. Alright, it is getting close though, but these last ones are going to be the most massive. Like up at the top, we could do like 3 or 4 layers. And this one, nah. Then I want to connect it to this underwater temple. Like it's all going to be, yeah. So, I don't know. War just sucks in general, and the fact that we're still fighting over land resources and all that, it's ridiculous. Oh! Oh, shoot. Oh no! I almost died. Did you see that? Like when I tried to place seaweed on some of the. Oh, wow, it is so dark in here. Oh, it could be light coming from those things. Let's just fill this area with kelp. Just put all this seaweed down here. I love these little crevices. So I don't know. There is no real right or wrong answer. Like, oh, I guess, well, one thing. So Roseanne was complaining, and she's all pro Trump and everything. Everything Trump says is just gold. Like he can't be wrong about anything, and kind of understandably so with like the amount of money going to Ukraine. So for the people that don't make a lot of money and see their taxes come out, and all that money that they should be earning and they didn't get, which is almost like a third of everybody's income, you know. It's like, it's ridiculous. It's not like a little 5% tax or anything. It's like a 30% tax. Like everything you make, 1/3 of it goes to Uncle Sam. And for what? And like, and that's where I can kind of understand like the investments in DEI and transgender stuff and like anything like that, because they make it sound like, okay, here's your paycheck, and now this much money is now going to go fund that, and it's a lot less than people think. Like it's a fraction of like what you do, and it's just like the fact that there's millions and millions of people paying these. It's kind of like Office Space, where it's like a fraction of a penny each transaction, but then there's millions of transactions, so it does amount to some real savor, real money. And this stuff actually gets rounded off. So like the stuff they were stealing, they weren't even really stealing, but then they misplaced a decimal and ended up stealing like all the money. Sorry, I just ruined Office Space for you. Not really. Go still watch it. But that's the thing here is like fractions of a penny are basically what. So I paid to this one DEI program. Okay, or this one or that. I mean, it's not like, you know, it's not as extreme. However, I can kind of see how it's like, I would rather see money spent on making it to where people can afford a house, or, making a fund that people could borrow from for the down payment on moving into a new house. And like the stuff that I'm trying to do with communal lending, where it's like, okay, we make a fund, no interest lending. This is meant for emergencies like, my car broke down. I would like a new car, not even like a new car, just a car that drives. Or, you know, I have kids. I'd like to live in a bigger house so my kids have room. Like, there's that. Or, just assistance with certain things. People like to justify taking that assistance away for any silly thing, like substance use and abuse. Like, let's put everybody on drug tests that's on welfare. It's like, okay, let's put everybody that's wealthy on drug tests. Like, you're saying, yeah. And it goes back to the argument. People are like bitter because they think that their money is just getting stolen by addiction or whatever. And some of it, yeah. But again, perspective. Like, if someone's down on rock bottom, down on their luck or whatever, and oftentimes people only find themselves there because of what the government does. Like, you get caught smoking a plant. Oh, God, you got a criminal record. Let's put you in jail. Let's make it to where you can't get good jobs. And then, why are these people struggling so much? Like, I'm helping, putting them in jail and stuff, and then making them, like, separate them from their family, make them live with a bunch of other people that are all pissed off all the time. Like, yeah, that's some great management skills. No, I'm just kidding. That's terrible management skills. And all presidents are complicit, all of them. Like, I'm not a big fan of Biden either. Like, I'm actually kind of mad at Biden. Like, the instant that his son was found out to have used a substance, he should have changed his tune for everybody. Because it's like, oh, my bad. I didn't realize that only rich people can go out and make mistakes and, make these kinds of choices and stuff and have a party like that. Like, it's okay. Forgive me. I was wrong. I was, a lot of people I know that got in trouble and stuff, they were poor. So they weren't supposed to be able to do that. So, rules for thee and not for me. Oh, I just noticed there's a missing section of wall there. Huh. Okay, let's go fix that. I'm still using cobblestone wall. It's nothing fancy. Which I might change that one day, but anyway, so I don't know. There is no real right or wrong answer. It's just a series of like motives and understanding what those motives are. That's it. Like a lot of people want to keep their wealth. Vladimir Putin. Like, and that's what I responded to Roseanne, 'cause she said something on X that like, you know, they don't want to be ruled by a tyrant. They want to hold elections. They want to elect a real man to lead. And I was like, all right, cool. Let's get Oh, that's why. I'm not just missing the wall. I'm missing the floor. All right, I think I do have some of that. Let's get that fixed first. Also, that's dangerous because I jumped down there now. Like I made the center all water, so no matter where you fall, as long as you're still within the boundary, you'll be fine. You'll just land in water. Let's see. There we go. Ooh, actually, polished black stone slab. Wait. It is just the polished. Okay. I was gonna say you can't take it back once you do it. So I think I like the polished blackstone brick slab better, but whatever. We'll do this since we're already doing it. Okay. And what would I do differently? I have no idea. Like whew, I've been thinking about trying to get into politics too. I think it'd be interesting. Sorry, I gotta crouch here because I do not want to fall. That's potential death. Oh, and there's the alarm. So, I should probably get up and do something. Oops, I started wandering into the thing. Um, oh wait, did I make the? Okay, good, yeah. Well, there we go. Fixed it. Whee! Ah! Actually, okay. Before we go, let's go ahead and do one from the very top. That's ooh. There's a secret cave. What? I didn't notice that. Anyways, let's go see what it's like at the very top, and then I'll go and do some productive things. And eventually, I want to put in water elevators so I can just shoot to the top. I've only done a couple of those. Actually, I think I only have one. I only have one water elevator in this world that I can think of, and it's over there in that heart. Oh, and that brown needs to turn green with flowers and nice, pretty paradise type thing. Oh, and then there's snow too, because it's so high up here. All right, ready? First, let's look at it. Ah, and then look at the buildings through it, like with that purple haze. Oh, that just looks so cool. And then here we go. Ah! Oh, and it was so scary because I actually dug this out. It was only one unit deep, and I need to fix that too, to where it's like flat water. But yeah, of course, I need to fix that too because I was still making this like emerald skirt or base or however you want to think about it. It's a lot harder to make it out of emeralds because, well, a block of emerald is a lot harder to get than a melon. A melon is really easy. So, anyways, that's all for this one. I'll see you in the next one. We didn't really do a lot of political music, but really just I guess I need to get a microphone that works with my computer, start doing Twitch streaming again. And then what I'm going to do is just like maybe every other Sunday night or one Sunday a month, I'll just stream for like an hour or two. And then basically why I want to do that is because then that forces me to dedicate a solid hour or two without breaks to doing a project. And what I'm thinking of is like the DOI, Department of Internet Efficiency, DOIE. Basically, just making a bunch of spreadsheets and Google Docs and keeping track of things, and then putting a bunch of articles there. And like, because XApp is starting to do it, but it's fleeting. Like, you can have an argument, you can go back and forth and go down to like a long series of arguments back and forth with somebody, but then it just disappears. Like, you can find it, but it's really difficult to do. Whereas I want to make a massive graph, like in computer science thinking, a graph is like a bunch of nodes and edges, and the edge is just a line that connects two nodes. And so it's just any number of data points or groupings of data points that are connected somehow, and then a way to map that. So the reason I want to do that is so you can just have all of these arguments, articles, things that have been said, and just organize them into one giant thing of like, oh, okay, so I can macro analyze any situation and form a better opinion. And I mean better, like, as in, not because it more aligns with what I want, that's a bias that we all need to be careful of, but a better opinion that's powered and supported by a lot more information. Like, a good example on XApp, the White House posted saying, JD Vance asking Zelensky, have you ever thanked us? Have you ever thanked America? And then like I looked at the because I'm part of community notes, I went in there, tons and tons of things like articles and XApp posts and like threads that just proved that yes, he has indeed thanked us for everything we've done several times. oh, it was 33, which is interesting because 33rd degree Masons is the highest Mason. There's like a number to that, or there's significance to that number. So that was interesting. I kept seeing 33, but really, it was 33 solid instances where he thanked America for America's support, financially, military, like all our weapons and like equipment and food and supplies, and our diplomatic support, like our vocal support, voicing that we want Ukraine to be an independent country, and all of that. But yeah, and then Trump's justification is like, well, Putin's already invested this many lives and he's had this many deaths, and it's like, okay, well, so that's a threshold. Like, if you want a piece of land, that's how much you need to pay in blood to get that land. That's basically what the precedent is set. And as Trump is eyeing Greenland, like, okay, wait, how did we go get to here? Like, it's a very powerful thing running the American country. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, hey, we're going to ignore this person trying to invade and do a land grab back. And then you hear, like, I don't know. But then I go back because it was like, well, who did the initial land grab? Did America land grab Ukraine away from Russia, like through diplomacy? But then that's hearts and minds versus force and bullets. Like, it's like Stockholm syndrome. They love me because they're my captors, and then they're like, and then the captor's thinking, "Oh, I love you so much, but you can't ever leave me, and you ever dare cheat on me." That betrayal and all this. I'd rather, if I can't have you, nobody can, kind of mentality. And it's like, hmm. And then you wonder how much of it is actually just plain out greed. Like, what can we get from Ukraine? Like we're already eyeing their mineral rights. Like, know, I don't know. I feel bad for everybody involved in that. Like, nobody should be dying for any of this, and that's what pisses me off. Like, all the other stuff, it's an annoyance and it's that, but the death, like that, it's too much. Any of it's too much. And for what? Like, pride. Like, oh no, you are Russian. This is such a betrayal. Like, no, you are Ukrainian. This is such a betrayal. It's all a trap, a death trap, where poor people just keep dying so rich people can argue. Anyways, I got a little too deep too quick, but ta-ta for now. I will see you in the next one. This is such a beautiful area. All right, see you there.